Hi guys, my name is Leonardo Maciel. I'm a third year archaeology student from the Institute of Technology, Sligo.
And I'm Éabha Campbell, a third year archaeology student at the Institute of Technology, Sligo.
And here with us today, we are honored to have Rachel. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so hey everybody, my name is Rachel, and I work within the private sector of archaeology within the UK.
So how did you first get interested in archaeology?
Um, in interest in like antiquity, archaeology, and the history of like human civilization is something that is pretty prevalent throughout my childhood. When I was at school, I was really tended to excel in the history and like English and writing subjects. So when it came time for me to choose what to do at university, I saw that there was an archaeology course on offer, and I thought, oh, that would be something I'm really, really interested in. And then just kind of went from there.
I always wanted to be an archaeologist as well. And when I got into college here in Sligo, it was really good because it got everything that I always needed in the course. And having that in mind, what's your favorite and most interest place you ever worked in?
Well, it depends on what you define by work. Definitely my most favorite place that I ever dug and like participated in an archaeological dig on was my 3 summers that I did working in the Kingdom of Jordan. I really loved the weather. I loved the things that we were finding. And it was just a really amazing experience. One woman in particular that I got to excavate, the very first one, she was buried with her jewelry, and we found these glass like bangles, and then as well like a row of beads from a necklace while we were excavating, so like grave goods. And that kind of set me on a path to getting my master's degree in human osteoarchaeology, and was the first time I got to dig that. So that really stands out in my mind as probably my favorite thing and place that I've worked.
So you mentioned that you did your master's in archaeology. So did that factor into that job at all?
No, unfortunately not. I did have an experience on a commercial site that I worked on where I did have the opportunity to excavate human remains. And in that way, my knowledge of human osteoarchaeology really like benefited me in my work.
We study osteoarchaeology as part of our course as well, and all the different insights and how you go about these things is just really interesting and different,
Yeah, I mean, osteoarchaeology is a really, really fascinating subject, and there are so many things that you can do with it, which is fantastic.
And now that's the most important question here in the list. Who would be the better archaeologist, Lara Croft or Indiana Jones?
I'm inclined to say neither, because but if I absolutely had to choose, I would definitely choose Indiana Jones because he has a PhD, he's a professor of archaeology. That is the background of his character.
There are a few misconceptions about archaeologists, the biggest being that archaeology is only for academic white men. Obviously, this isn't true. Do you ever feel like your experience in archaeology is affected by this?
Um, in some ways, like misconception that it's all run by white men is certainly reflective, I think, of the way archaeology was for a very long time. I think that that's definitely something that's going to be changing and is in the process of changing at the moment. I really think it's great because in the past few years, we've had like so much more support coming out for people that are involved in archaeology. Things like there's a Facebook group called Mentoring Women in Archaeology. There's also the very newly announced European Society of Black and Allied Archaeologists. So there's just so many great resources out there that are developing and will help us become more inclusive and diverse going forward. So I really think things are only going to get better.
Yeah, we see a lot how diversity, of course, is a really important aspect of work and studying. And walking on campus, we can see, so many people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It's really supportive as it.
Working in public archaeology, how would you change the public's perception of archaeology?
Well, I think that overall the public perception of archaeology is more good than bad, I would hope. One of the things I think bothers a lot of archaeologists is this perception that we are only there to be digging up for gold, valuable items, or that we're just digging up this stuff for our own personal self-interest. I'd really like to change the perception that we dig up dinosaurs, because we don't.
Being in touch with different modules such as public archaeology, water archaeology, we were able to, finally debug most of them and realize that, our main goal here is, preserving heritage. We would like to thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really chuffed that you guys reached out to me.